So now I want to start fetching some data from the database, and I'm going to go back to the database and look at this draw values, and it has two columns. So it has grouped hand and the expected return for each grouped hand, and my PHP code needs to take a regular poker hand and turn it into one of these things and use this thing to look up the expected return. And let me explain to you how these groupings work. So each group inside of parentheses, that's the cards for this particular suit. So this could be clubs or diamonds or hearts or spades, one suit, and then a different suit has a 7, and then a third suit has a 4, and then the fourth suit has a 4 as well. So I have some clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades, or some diamonds, hearts, spades, clubs, or some spades, diamonds, hearts, club, whatever. But then the longer group is at the front, and then the shorter groups are at the end. So a group of 2 always comes before a group of 1. And then if you have 2 groups that are the same length, they go by card number. So ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9, 8, down to 3, 2. So 5, 2 would come before 4, 2. And 5, 3 would come before 4, 3. And ace, king is going to come before ace, queen, and so on. So longer groups in front, and then if you have multiple groups that are tied, it's based on the card with ace being high and 2 being low. So let's go ahead and start by grouping the cards by suit. And I'm going to go back to my poker code. And in generate choices, I'm going to call a new function called GroupedHand, just for testing purposes. And then I'm going to start writing my GroupedHand function. Takes a hand as input. And the first thing I want to do is group each card into its suit. So suits is equal to an array, and here are the club hand cards, diamond cards, heart cards, and spade cards. And then for each hand as card, I'm going to stick this card in the right bucket. So if it's a club, it goes here. If it's a spade, it goes here. So suits sub card sub suit field, and then I'm going to append card, like so. But this isn't exactly right because ace is 0, 2 is 1, 3 is 2, and up to king, which is 12. And I want ace to not be 0. I want ace to be 13. So what I'm going to do here is say if $card sub rank field equals 0, then suits sub card sub suit field equal a new array 13 comma card sub suit field, else that thing there. So aces are treated as 13, and then all the other cards 2 through king get their normal value. So let's see if I'm actually grouping correctly. I'm just going to put a print R in here. Suits. And let me go ahead and add a pre-tag here. And end the pre-tag. And we'll see what we get. So video poker, reload. So here's my groups. So I should have under clubs the 2 of clubs, which is 1, 0. So under clubs I have 1 card, 1, 0. And then under diamonds, I should have 2, 1, 4, 1, 8, 1. So 2, 1, 4, 1, 8, 1. And then under hearts, I should have 8, 2, 8, 2. And then I have no spades, so spades is just empty. So they're getting grouped correctly. Next, I want to order them in descending order by rank. So instead of 3, 5, 9, the right order is going to be 9, 5, 3, which is actually 8, 1, 4, 1, 2, 1. So let's go ahead and do that. To sort in reverse order, I can use rsort. So for each suits as suit, I want to rsort suit. But this isn't going to quite work, and the reason is because this thing is actually a copy of that thing. And so when I rsort it, it's not going to affect the one here. If I want to actually change the one here, I need to make that thing be a reference. So this basically makes this value get changed when I do the rsort. And so now suit should be correctly ordered. So let's reload, see if it worked. And it did. So now 8, 4, 2 instead of 2, 4, 8. So let's go ahead and reduce each of these buckets to a piece of text now. And to do that, I want to have a short name for each rank. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So poker constants. Here are my rank names. I'm going to add short rank names equals, and then I'm never going to get a 0, but let's go ahead and put ace there anyhow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops, 7, 8, 9, and then for 10 I use the character T for Jack, J, Queen, King, and now 13 is A. So there's my short rank names. And in poker code, I'm going to use map to go through each group and return the correct string. So groups is equal to array map, and then I need a callback function, and I'm just going to use an anonymous function for this. So function that takes a group, does something with it, and then returns something, and then I'm going to apply this function to each thing in suits. So this function will get applied to each thing in suits. Whatever it returns is going to be added to a new array that's stored in groups. And then what I want to do for suits is go through each card inside of the group, find the short rank name for that card, and add that to a new piece of text. And I'm going to use another array map to do that. So names is equal to array map function card that's going to do something for each card in group. And what this is going to do is it's just going to return the short rank name of card rank field. So I'm getting that warning because constant arrays aren't fully supported. So rank names like so. So that's to avoid the warning. And so this is going to return an array of short names. And then if I want to turn short names into a piece of text, I can use join to do that. So I'm going to return join. So that's what's going to go between each rank name, just an empty string, and then names. So this is going to return the groups as pieces of text for each group in here. And let's go ahead and group and let's echo that to see what it looks like. So let me go ahead and hit reload. And now what I got back is deuce for clubs, 953 for diamonds, 9 for heart, and empty string for spades. So now what I want to do is I want to sort these by length, and then if they are the same length, I want to sort them by card. So I'm going to need a custom sort function to do that. There's nothing built into PHP that will do exactly what I want. But there's a function called usort that takes a comparison function where you can say whatever you want to do for comparison. So let's look at that. And I'm going to do that before I generate the names, because it's going to be easier to work with the rank numbers than it is with the rank names. So after I've sorted each group by rank in descending order, I'm going to usort, user-defined sort, suits. And then the function that I want is going to go in here. It's going to be a function that takes 2 arguments, value 1 and value 2. And then the way this function works is it returns -1 if this thing is less than that thing in whatever order I want them to be. It returns 0 if they're equivalent, and it returns +1 if this thing is greater than this thing. So let's start by comparing the lengths. So I'll say L1 is count of B1, and L2 is count of B2. And then if L1 less than L2, I'm going to return -1. Actually, I want the longer ones in the front and the shorter ones in the back. So that means I want to return 1 here. If L2 is less than L1, then I'm going to return -1. Otherwise, the lengths are the same, so I have to go through pairwise card combinations. So for I equals 0, I less than L1, I know both L1 and L2 are the same because these are the same length, or I wouldn't have gotten here. I plus plus, and I missed a $sign here. If $sign V1 sub I, so that's the card in this position, is less than $sign V2 sub I, that means that they're in the wrong order because I have a lower card in front of a higher card. So I return 1 here. Otherwise, if V2 sub I is less than V1 sub I, that means they're in the right order. The first one is less than the second one. So return -1. Otherwise, I go on to the next card. So it's going to loop through all the cards, and then if I get to the end, that means all these cards matched, so I return 0. So there's my whole comparison function, and it's a little complicated, but if you follow the logic, you can work it out. And let's go ahead and reload and see what happens. So what I should end up with is 953 first, then 9 second, because 9 is greater than 2, and then 2 at the end. And that's what I get, 95392. So the only other thing I have to do is join all of these together into one big group. But I don't want to include open paren, close paren for this group right here because that's not the standard I used when I created the GroupedHands. So I want to filter out any of them that are empty. So let's use array filter to do that. So filtered is array filter groups function group, and I want to keep the thing if the length is greater than 1 or greater than 0, and drop the thing if the length is equal to 0. So I want to return count of group greater than 0. So now if I do this, I should just have these 3 values coming back. Oh, but I have to output filtered. I think I might need Sterling here because this is a piece of text. There. So you use count on arrays, but you use Sterling on pieces of text. So now that I have these back, I can use join to glue them into one string. So grouped is equal to join, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that as the separator between groups. And I'm also going to add a closing paren here and an opening paren there. So let's go ahead and output grouped. And reload. So that's my final GroupedHand. And let's go ahead and look at a couple of them, make sure it works. So I have an error here. I got a group. So undefined index on line 186. On this line. So rank names of rank, let's go ahead and put a breakpoint and listen for connections. So card 8-1, that's probably fine. 7-1, 4-1. So here's probably a problem. Card 13. So I didn't do this part up here right. Oh, I should have appended here, like so. That's what I meant to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the breakpoint and turn off the debugger, reload. There. So 985 comes first because 3 cards, then ace comes before 10. Let's try it one more time. Keep the ace, draw, back. So 10, 3, 2, Jack 5. 10, 3, 2, Jack 5. Good. And 10, 8. So 10, 8. 8, 7, 8, 7. And these groups are in the right order. And then Jack at the end, because even though Jack is higher than these, there's only one card in the group. So it seems to be working correctly.